Great. Hi, everybody. I will put on the streaming now.
Meantime, good morning to
Please, yes.
Andrea, Clemens, Eva, Kerstin, Rainer, Veronika, Oliver, and Adi. Most of you, some of you I know.
Keep talking, Thomas.
Oh. Which is the most difficult for me. Just to explain, I was hoping that Veronika is joining us. Veronika invited Reflektor to the Photo Pondelog, to the Photo Monday in Bratislava, which is similar to our Photobook Breakfast. And we are hoping to continue our collaboration between Bratislava or Slovakia and Vienna and Austria.
Yes, oh, it's amazing. We have, quite a crowd here. Good morning, everybody. I hope you all brought your coffee. Apologies for this technical issues right away. I am very excited that we are online and that we have our very first virtual photobook breakfast and that you join us. I mean, we kind of felt like in this situation, I mean, it's a crazy situation. It's really that we're been thrown in globally at the moment, and we did feel we wanted to do something and to, you know, connect in this time of, I learned it's not called social distancing anymore, it's called physical distancing. And I felt that in times of physical distancing, it's a great opportunity to actually connect the larger community of photobook lovers and, you know, do something and put the focus on something positive and, you know, think about creative projects as a way to not go, you know, insane in this crisis we're in at the moment. So my name is Vreni Hockenjos. I'm a member of Reflektor, and I have with me Thomas Licek.
Good morning.
Who will be the co-host. And then we have a bunch of wonderful people joining us from different countries. We have Johannes Romppanen from Finland.
Hello.
Who's a great photographer. And we have Eugenia Maximova.
Who is just...
Usually it's a very local concept that we have photobook breakfasts every so often, every once a month, twice a month, no, not twice, every other month rather, where we meet in a gallery. We've been a lot to Photon Gallery, we've been to WestLicht, we've been to Galerie Reinthaler, and we present some books. And as part of, you know, getting to spread the word on interesting photobook projects. And all the more, I'm really excited that Johannes and Eugenia are here, which have two beautiful book projects, or actually more, but right now on sale with Reflektor. And no, this is not a commercial show. This is really just, getting your eyes off and maybe just entertaining and hopefully inspiring you. So what I would like to do is quickly, you can ask questions in the Q&A. We're happy to answer because it really is supposed to be a rather informal format that we have with the breakfasts. And so it's supposed to be interactive anytime. Also among the panelists, please, if you have questions, do say them. We'll start then, I think, with Johannes.
Sorry, Vreni, because we stopped with Eugenia in the introduction round.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry, Moritz. Apologies. See, that this is why you need co-hosts
Sidekicks.
and co-hosts. Very sorry. No, the third is Moritz Neumüller, which we're really pleased that he's joining us. He is Austrian-born, but he's now in Barcelona. He's a educator and a writer and curator and has a lot knowledge on photo books. So we are actually very excited. Apologies again, Moritz, that I forgot about you in my first introduction. Yes, exactly. Here's the proof. The man knows what he's talking about. He did publish a wonderful book of essays and articles on photo books, which is called the Photobook Phenomenon. It came out last year or 2 years ago.
2017, yeah.
2017, right? So it's really summarizing some of the trends, and I guess that are still valid today. But I will eventually also would like to ask you more questions about the situation now and how you think it might affect the photo book market. But Thomas, what else did I forget?
Oh, I think we can now start with Johannes and maybe the story behind how we got to know each other. I mean, Reflektor and Johannes, because Reflektor had a table in Aal last year. And as far as I know, Johannes, you were talking to Vreni Hockenjos.
Yes.
And later you sent us the PDF of at that time not yet published book, and I have to say I was very touched seeing this PDF. And but when you sent us the copies, I was even more touched, because it's actually touching, because I never dared to open the book, because it's such a fragile work, and I'm so happy that you're joining us now and that we have the chance to get your personal story of this book. And yes, please start.
You have the book with you?
Yes. It's not open.
Not really?
Oh, it's still, it's still unpacked.
Wow. Okay, I'll start with
the other copy.
Yeah.
We had another one.
I'll start with sharing the video.
So on your website, yeah, you have a link for your book and a YouTube video looking through the book, right? That's what you're showing us.
Is it showing to you?
Yes, perfectly.
Yes. So yeah, I'll just keep this running, and then I'm clocking. It was 10 minutes, so it's not. So the background story, it's about my daughter, and when she was born, she had a lack of oxygen, and she got severely disabled. And this book, she's now 6 years old, and this book consists of kind of like a diary of the four first years. And it's all images that's been, that's images and stories that I've been sharing on Instagram, on Facebook, maybe Instagram. So they're already once published before, and now this book is kind of a new framework for the material. And it was really never intended, like, I didn't take the pictures in kind of in my mind to make a photo book. It was more about a way for me to cope with the everyday struggles. And with struggles, I'm mainly talking about the fact that we spend a lot of time in hospitals. So because of Lila's condition. Since real severe cerebral palsy, which means she can't control her really. She can't move. She can't walk. She can't control her hands. She can't really. She needs help with all of her daily functions. And what is typical is that you create a lot of fungus in the lungs, and it doesn't come out. Especially when little, so that's a big risk for pneumonias. So we're spending a lot of time in the hospital. Maybe every fifth week we were kind of in a critical situation in the hospital, and but luckily we always got home again. So taking pictures and kind of reflecting about these difficult times, and also, as you see, there's a lot of happy moments also, which is part of the kind of framework of everyday life. One of my also kind of then the intentions with doing a book like this was, well, one thing was that it's nice to have a family album. But then kind of in the larger context, I was also noticing that there's not a lot of stories about disabled children. And it's really kind of, at least it's really marginalized. It's nothing that's in kind of the common dialogue. It's nothing that's really shown that how does life look in the families of disabled children. You see a lot of disabled adults, but kind of all of the adults have sometimes also been children. So when kind of I noticed that I had the ability to create these stories and to speak about it, I also felt some kind of responsibility to share it and to articulate it. And it's been really nice to see that it's encouraging also people to share their stories. And it's in kind of all kind of storytelling. When you talk about something that's super specific, it's interesting to see like how that also kind of becomes really general, and it's be interesting to see like how people how this topic has been touching people and also telling people. I really just stopping with this sequence. This kind of tells about the daily life we had. It was like 1 second you have a beautiful sunrise, and the next day the fever rises and you have to go to the hospital. So I'm really happy also with how the book turned out, and also kind of the format and how Thomas said also that it's such a fragile object that I don't know how can I open it, and that's kind of part of what I was aiming for. That was kind of my challenge was am I able to kind of translate the emotions that we have in our family life? Am I able to translate that into a technical object and kind of get a glimpse of the feelings? Can I kind of evoke those feelings in the person that opens the book just by the choice also of the material? So this is like a super thin paper, but at the same time it's really kind of a solid, rigid object. So even though kind of you have the feeling and you're afraid that will this break, but it doesn't break, and there is kind of this kind of different kind of controversial emotions kind of going sailing back and forth, which is something that's I'm really happy about. And one of I could tell something about the process of making the book.
Yes, please.
Because of the materials, it's so, because of the material is so close to me, it was really difficult to kind of to find a good way how to go about, like what should I do with this. So for me, it was really important to find a designer that can help me kind of on this road and kind of help me with my intentions to really kind of translate this into something that's tangible and work as an object as well. So I worked with Sylvain Kuiper from the Netherlands.
Okay.
And I was really happy about the process together. So basically, I started with just sending him a bunch of images. I'm like, okay, so this is the body of work, and like how should we take it from there? And then he threw a design suggestion, which isn't far from, I think, I like the format all, and maybe half of the images, the beginning is as I already wanted it to be, and then we kind of worked it from there. It was maybe like a one year process. Then kind of to nail the funding and to get things forward. You see there's some texts, and all the texts are also stories and thoughts that I've shared on Facebook. So this kind of diary character. I'll just jump forward.
How many? What's the print run? How many copies did you?
350. 350. There's still a bit less than the half. I still have 100 something. Yeah, this is you see the image with the ambulance. That's also something that's was kind of important image for me, and that was also the point when I was thinking, like, okay, my daughter, she just had a severe epileptic seizure, and we weren't able to treat her at home, and then we're going to the hospital with the ambulance. But then I stopped, like, oh, that's a beautiful sunrise, or the sun is getting up. I'll just stop the car. I'm driving behind the ambulance, and I'll take the picture. And at that point, I was also just thinking, like, okay, this is really stupid. Like, why am I stopping to take a picture in a situation of crisis? But at the same time, it tells a lot about kind of also the meaning of photography and kind of how that kind of these kind of small gestures can bring relief in really difficult situations. So after that, I gave myself permission to to keep on photographing as much as I felt. So it's a really personal story, and I was also thinking a lot about, like, what is, like, the limit between kind of the individual and the public, like. But I think at the same time, it's not kind of, it is personal, and it shows a lot, it's intimate, but at the same time, there are kind of, I'm not showing everything, I'm deciding on what I want to share. I think I'm used my 10 minutes now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Johannes.
Thank you, Johannes. It's amazing work.
Very impressive.
And I'm also impressed by the book as an object. Maybe you tell us a little bit more about the production, the way you did the book. the project, it's amazing. I'm really amazed, and thank you for sharing, and thank you for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for being part of this. It's really important also too. So I'm happy we met with Rainer. Yes.
By the way, Rainer says, or he writes, "Thank you, Johannes."
Thank you. So, Eugenia, what did you want to know about you mean the choices of the material, or like how
a little bit more about the process, about it's how did you came to the final object? What was the story behind a little bit?
Yeah,
the binding and everything.
Yeah, as I said, like for me, it was crucial or essential to find a lot of different elements in the same book. That there is still kind of the tenderness and the softness kind of coming with the really thin paper, which I was a bit afraid of. That is it like too thin? Is it like too? Can you see how much can you see through? There is some level of see through, but I think it's just fine. And then also this the torn edges. That's also something that we requested the binder. He said he hasn't done anything like this before, so he was testing a bit. So this is actually done with the circle saw. and there's a lot of. I mean, I think the binding and the work the binder did is really essential, and the input, because that's also what kind of one thing why I decided then to work with Sib and his contacts in the Netherlands, because I didn't have that kind of contacts with binders and printers in Finland that really kind of are interested in taking the object to another level. And of course, it's not cheap to do something like this. The good thing in Finland is there's some good funding, and which I was really lucky to get. So that kind of also helped the process, and also the decision that I made to self-publish, because I'm kind of active in the also the photo book scene here in Helsinki, and want to encourage people to publish things. I also felt like somehow I wanted to kind of do the whole route myself, and also and really kind of explore the self-publishing, which I'm really happy I did. And also it kind of made it possible for me to not make any compromises. That I was like, okay, let's do a wrapper. let's do this, and let's try that. And I'm really happy I was able to do all this.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we hear
you. Sorry. Thank you so much, Johannes. No, I agree. I think what I found so amazing really is how you manage to, convey the sense of intimacy and fragileness and privacy. And that's, just the delicateness of the book. Just when you open the poster and then you have another layer. So this layering of, and then you have this really literally naked object with this beautiful binding. How did you find this binding?
It was really something that Sib first suggested, and I really bought the idea. And it's also, there's a handful of different people that was doing the binding, so they're also individual. They're not all the same, which is also kind of one of the elements. I'm looking at the time. I think also we should probably forward to the next speaker. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Johannes. Indeed, we're a bit behind technically, or because of the technology, and then I mean, it's a great thing. I know, Eugenia, I know you also more personally. It was actually you who introduced me to the Reflektor group. We met in kindergarten because our daughters went to the same group, and then I suddenly bumped into Eugenia at the photobook, the Vienna Photobook Festival, which unfortunately isn't organized anymore at the moment. Yes.
Hi, Siri.
But so, I mean, this work about, you know, how you balance the personal, very personal stories and your artistic work, I mean, it's also, of course, very evident in your new project, but Silent River. So that's the connection, Eugenia. But maybe you show us more, you show us first a bit your first photo book, which is called Kitchen Stories from the Balkans. And then we quickly talk also about your new project. Would that work for you?
Yeah, sure. I only have this question. Would you be more interested in knowing about how I came to the book, or are you more interested in the book itself and the project? Or a combination between the two of them?
I think I would like if you show us a little bit about the kitchen stories, and then yeah, the process also, I guess, because we want to be inspiring, and like if there's anybody listening and also thinking about making a photo book,
okay.
That you talk a little bit about the process. What's the difference for you? Why it is important for you that you started doing a project, a photo book project?
All right, so I'll start sharing my screen. I'll go straight to my webpage because there are some pictures of the book itself. And let me do that. Let me go here. And here are the kitchen stories. This is the book. I did a slideshow of the book. Of the book and the story itself. I already had this project ready. I went to all Balkan countries that share the very same history, from being part of the Ottoman Empire, and then through communism. And I was wondering, because the thing we all have in common in these countries are it's the food. We share the same food heritage brought by Ottoman Empire, and there are no conflicts about that. And that was actually the idea behind the book, to do a story about the Balkans without showing the conflicts. And it was organized by WordPress Photo, and it was a workshop, and it was fully funded by the Robert Bosch Foundation. So that's how I got the fundings to do a project like this at all. And then I I was already, one of my teachers, it was Regina Anzenberger, and she got me infected by the photobook virus. And I was experimenting quite a lot already with, I knew I want to do a photo book because, as I said, I was so kind of already into the project. Maybe I stop here and go back. And so I did my own design. I did a blurb copy. I didn't like it very much. I gave up the idea. It was too expensive to produce. I didn't know where and how to start. Till I came back to Bulgaria and met this very dear old friend of mine whose family always have been into the printing business. And we started talking about possibilities of doing a photo book. It's Alexander from Thea Design in Bulgaria, and he introduced me to all possible papers and how paper would reflect on the photo book, on the printing and all that stuff. And then I asked him, would you be interested in doing the book together with me? And he said, well, I never did a photo book before, but let's try, let's do it. And
it's also basically collaboration, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. This book is a total collaboration with many people, and without all those people, I don't see any way this book came out. So he told me about the difference between coated and uncoated paper, and the pros and the contrasts. And yes, we decided to do it on Arctic volume because it's a good coated paper that also works well with the black areas in the pictures. And then we tried a stencil paper for the coating on the book, and there was this other friend of mine, Ukrainian designer, who helped me with the design and the way we could, because I'm using medium format cameras. All pictures are squares, which is and because of these square pictures, it's not really easy to do a design that it's more interesting in the way it looks. And
if I can interrupt you a little bit,
yeah, sure.
It's also, you also chose a self-publishing at that stage, right?
Yes.
For Kitchen Stories, also self-published.
Yes.
Were you looking for a publisher, or was that a conscious choice, like Johannes was saying?
No, it was a very conscious choice because, as I say, it's a collaboration between me and all these people, and because of them, actually, I came to the idea of really let's start and do it. We have everything ready, and I wasn't even thinking of that time of the possibility to print it in with a publishing house. And I think it was a great choice, which I don't regret. I had all the overhand of everything. I like it, I don't like it. Let's try, let's experiment, let's see how it works. Does it work, and all that. So yes.
So sorry, because we are running a bit behind schedule. Do you real quickly, do you want to say something about your new project, Silent River, or because you also consider doing it again as a, I mean, your second book, Associated Nostalgia, you did with a publisher, and then
yes,
Madrid-based, but this third project now, your latest or current project, Silent River, you are in the process of turning into a book, and
yeah, if I get the fundings, yes.
Always the big issue, of course, yeah.
Yeah, this is basically the issue. This is basically the thing, and you are asking me would I prefer to do a self-publishing or yes, I would again try to do a self-published book because of the possibility to collaborate and do whatever I like to do with the people I like to do, and for me this is the way it works, because you are more flexible and you are doing things with people you know. You can brainstorm, they dedicate their times to you and everything. And for me, this is of course the better option. I would prefer it if I get the fundings to do it the way I want and with the people I want, and to choose the paper I want and all that things.
Again, sorry, I'm a bit, since I think we can be, of course, a little bit end late on time, but Eugenia, because I mean, the Silent River is also a very personal body of work, much more than maybe your previous ones. And I don't know if we open up that topic. Is it okay if we get Moritz in the picture, and then maybe we return and also have a bit of more interactive in case people who
yes
are listening in on our webinar have questions?
Okay.
Is that okay with you?
Sure, of course.
You just want to answer Roberto's question first, and then I'll start. What is it about the nature of a book that interests you? If you want to quickly go through that, and meanwhile I open my slides.
So what is it about the nature of a book that interests you, Eugenia? And I guess Johannes can also answer that question.
I didn't quite understand the question. Why
did you do a book?
Sorry?
Why did you do a book format and not any other format? What is interesting about the book format for you, I think, is the question.
Rather than an exhibition, yeah.
Yes, I mean, it's a way to tell a story and you can see it, and you can go through the story, and you can take your time and go back and forwards. You can include text. You can. I mean, it does have a more finished format as a book, and it's a good way to tell a story. And of course, it's something. I mean, it only complements an exhibition or what you see on my webpage, but it's a different feeling. The structure of the paper, even if the smell of the ink, and it's a different feeling with the object.
I think, I don't know, Johannes, I really wonder, have you exhibited the photos in Lilia? I mean, for me, especially with Johannes' books, it's even more essential that we really have it in a certain sequence, and that it's also the experience of this intimacy. It's a one-on-one meeting, whereas, you know, in a group or in an exhibition, it is a public, it's a group, and I almost feel that it really is a different experience if you experience it one-on-one. Of course, you can watch a photo book with a couple of friends, but usually it's a more intimate encounter with your pictures.
Yeah, for me, it's I mean, the primary. As you said, you already said it all. It's intimate, and it's also kind of a democratic media. It's accessible. Even though the book is expensive, it's still cheaper than buying prints. But the most important thing, as you mentioned, that it's intimate. You get close. It's something that you really can bind. You can create a personal relationship with the object, and that's kind of the most important thing for me. Although I'm still interested in the idea that how could this material translate into an exhibition space, and there also I think you have to take in consideration the same things. That it's really then it has to kind of somehow be in the dialogue with the space, and really kind of has to be created kind of site specific.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm just also I can't be much over time. I have to get back to the family, but I really want to hear what Moritz has to say. Yes, but I think I have to leave after that.
Yes, thank you.
I just wanted to say hello, and beside the things that Vreni mentioned, that what you're doing, I wanted to mention our special relationship between the Reflektor and your being I think the head of the photo book, or initiator of the photo book week Aarhus. And we are happy that we had a nice cooperation, which ended in Stein van der Linden's book, Essays on the Concrete City Corners. That's all I wanted to say. And now it's your turn, Moritz. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. Thomas and I have been friends for many years, so it was just logical when he got involved in Reflektor platform, to ask him to collaborate. And yeah, thank you for being part of this. So Photo Book Week Aarhus is a small photo book gathering. Festival is really too much to say, I would say. It's we started it in 2014. It was an initiative of Beate Sigilska from the Galerie Image, which is a small photography space, but which has been running, I think it's the oldest space in Scandinavia dedicated to photography. And she asked me to be part of the team. Then we had to find a space, a venue, and of course the whole funding thing. Everybody knows about this, how this goes. So this was born in 2014, and we found a wonderful space, which is a library, the library of the architecture school in the city of Aarhus, which is the second largest city in Denmark. And as you can see, it's a splendid space. So we bore the idea to make a photo book festival in a library. So we would have just a bit like myself here as a background, the books, but then how to set the stage, for the exhibition. So as it is an architecture school, we asked one of the designers and architects there to help us, and she came up with this really cool idea to have kind of a wooden plate in an L shape, and you would put the book on one side, and then the other tongue, let's say, you could stick into the bookshelves. So the books itself that are resting on the shelves are holding the support material where the book lies, and we found this a very elegant way of using the library. Also, the first exhibition we did there was about photo books on architecture, and of course some of the books that are in or that were in that exhibition were actually in that library. So the curatorial act was kind of, take a book and take it out of the shelf and convert it by opening it and putting it on that orange plate which is floating around before the other books, so to convert it from a reference material into an artwork. And we found this quite appealing as a concept. Of course, we also used downstairs in the library here for a bit of a kind of a photo book market, small sized. And what is mostly the issue through the 3 or 4 days, which we have the festival on, is looking together at projects, looking through the books, meeting and talking about photo books. So it's much more a gathering, as I said, than a festival per se. This is a format that we like very much, which is an exhibition. Consists of a table. You see here some in the middle, there's like a blue thing on the table, which is a label. So we had some labels for the books, but people, of course, respected them only up to a certain point, which doesn't matter because the books were all on the table. You could look at them, and then the expert, in this case, it was Pirko here from Finland, which you probably know, Johannes. She talked about Finnish photo books, and this was the exhibition on Finnish photo books.
What's her name, Pirko?
Back. Exactly.
What was her name? Surname?
Pirko, hold on. I'll give it to you in a second. While we talk, I'll get it. So that was so we sit around this table where the exhibition is, and talk about the books, and you just show the book like this. Sitari. Yeah. So she was head of Kiasma Center. Yeah, and we have a very open relationship to our visitors. Everybody can come. There's no entry fee or anything. We are happy to share our knowledge and the project. We also did a kind of a dummy viewing, which we call dummy doctoring, where we looked some experts at unfinished projects and helped them to go from the idea to the book. And some are designers, some are editors, some are experts, and so on. I'm sorry, I have to run very quickly because there's a time issue. So we have exhibitions always. Let's say we have some exhibition categories, which is one is we want to show always one exhibition from about books from Nordic countries, which has been Finland and Sweden and Iceland and so on. And this year it will be Norway. And then we have at least one from a more faraway country, which in the first year was Korea. Here you see the curator of the Korean show. Then we had Japan, Brazil, Russia. So really a lot of countries where you normally don't have so good access to get a lot of books. And that's the great thing about photo books exhibitions. the curators mainly came with the books in the suitcase or shipped the box, and then we just put it on the table, and then after the few days they take it away and back to them. So that really makes it possible to have a very quick overview of a regional axis. And then sometimes we also have a theme or thematic exhibitions. For example, here you see one which is called from image to structure, which of course has to do a bit more with the architect environment. And here you can see we already have a bit more professional viewing showcases in set up in the library. Here I have a video. I don't know if does this. Can you see the video moving?
Yes, it works.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So this is a part of a video that we that was shot not last year but the year before, and here you can also see the scene where it's about the Photobook Dummy Award and the prize giving and the showcasing of the 3 finalists of our Dummy Award, which and here's the winner, Stein, and the 2 finalists. And of course, we also had here the migrant and so on. So this is, let's see, it's a short video anyway. So here you can see a bit the...
So it's mostly modern works, contemporary works, right? Or is it also historical?
We also have historical works. We started to have collaboration with the Aros Museum, a big museum there, a very famous museum in Aarhus, and they allow us to showcase there always an exhibition where we can go a bit more into the historical theme. For example, we had last year we had an exhibition about new topographics in the photo book. So new topographics exhibition and looking at the photo books that were produced there. And we also we are hold on, I'll just stop that because this is going automatically now. Of Stein, we maybe the one photo book festival that is most interested in looking in the history and digging into the history of the photo book, and not only concentrating on the interchange of contemporary projects. We think it's very important, of course, especially for people who have made a photo book, like many of the audience today and of the speakers. And we also have a small photo book market, but Aarhus is far away. It's not so easy to get to. We don't have a big public who will spend a lot of money. So we are aware of the limitations, and we are more, as I said, interested to work with experts and look into this kind of historical and ontological issues of the photo book, and question why are we interested in the photo book as a format and so on. So yes, we do. Here we have very quickly some photographs of Stein's book and the making of. Here he's sitting already at the printers in Kaunas in Lithuania, where we printed the book, and together with a local expert checking and then congratulating the printer. We brought the...
He might come, he might join us if there will be some more virtual breakfasts. He promised
Super.
to join us.
Wonderful. So I'll not go too much into his book.
Yeah.
Then we also took the finalists of this Dummy Award to other festivals. Here, for example, we were in Norway at the Horten Museum with the finalists. Here's the book, which has wonderful fold-outs and graphics, and it's so I'll not go too much into that if Stein is coming. And then there's another initiative I wanted to talk about, which is called Market, which we do together with Unseen Festival. And this is the first issue. It was a small let's see if I have it somewhere here. It's a small folder, let's say, or a booklet rather than a book. Hold on, I'm lost in the library. Oh, here it is. So I'll just wave it through here. So it's really not, it's like this, but it's available for free as a PDF on our website. We print 600 pieces and then distribute it as good as we can. I still have some left here of the second one, which was, which you can see here, the making of. We did interviews at Unseen and also photographed people with their books or with their favorite books or with books they had bought. Here on the left hand you can see a book buyer because the what market? No, the whole question of this booklet is what is the photo book market? Is there really a photo book market? How does it work and what are the problems? That was the issues in the first booklet and the first issue. And it was mostly about distribution and how to get the books out and so on. You all know these problems. And then in the second one, we try to face some of the project problems with some creative answers and ask people, how do you get out? How do you get a new public? How do you get out of the photo book ghetto and can actually get some new audiences? So we asked people like, at the festival at Unseen, I actually had the idea to ask people who had just bought the book. So when I saw somebody taking out the credit card, I was running there and then waited for them to finish the the sale, but then asked them, why did you buy the book? And we set them on a couch and I asked the buyer why he or she bought the book and not the seller, because we're very used not to sell our books and to say how great they are and what they're about, but we hardly ever asked the buyer why they bought the book. And surprisingly or not, they actually, most of them, got it pretty right. So they said, the motives why they bought the books and how they understood the book, what it was about, was very precise on what the artist actually thought about his or her own book. So that was really a very nice finding. So maybe we should ask the buyers and our public a bit more about our books and what they think. And here's the results. This is the first one and the second one. As you can see, similar design with some small modifications. And here they are, the two brothers. And you can, some more looks inside.
So basically it was collectors, not just collectors, but everybody attending a festival, you asked, right?
At the photo book market at Unseen, which is a huge thing, as you all know. I ran around with a microphone, and then when somebody said that he or she would talk to me, here, I don't know if you can see it. No, you can see my microphone. And then we set them on the couch with the book that they had bought, or with their own book, or with the book they wanted to showcase, and then asked them about the book and took some photographs. And then this went into the publication. Then we also have some interviews with people who share their stories, why or how they, for example, Laurence, how they were able to expand their public out of the barriers of our photo book enthusiast world.
Right.
And there are some strategies which you can find in there, how to do that. As I said, it's you can download it from the Aarhus website. And the next festival is going to be this year. I know there's going to be a lot on now in October, because everybody shifted all the events from April, May, June, July. Now they're all in October, but we are there at the beginning of October.
Thank you, Moritz. So the Aarhus still is on for sure. That's good news.
Well, we are every year, as many other festivals, I guess, depend on the funding, and every year it's a struggle to get the finance. This year we already got two small grants, because in Denmark, I don't know how it is in other countries, but in Denmark there's a lot of foundations and you have to write a lot of applications, and then you get a little from here and a little from here and a little from here, and if it adds up, then you can make the festival, and if it doesn't, then you either downsize or disappear. For example, we wanted to start the Dummy Award in 2018 with the idea of doing it every year. That was not possible. We said then every second year, but now it's a financial thing. Whenever we get the sponsoring back together, there will be another Dummy Award, because we don't want to make a Dummy Award where we just the prize is that we clap somebody on the shoulder and say, do the book yourself, but we really like it. We have invested quite a bit of money and effort into the making of the book, so that it's really a book that could not be made without our help. And of course, our help was not sufficient for the whole process, but it was sufficient to pay just the printing costs.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark. Just two questions. One is from Roberto. How did you display ebooks? And my question for all the photographers, is there a possibility to participate in the Photobook Week Aarhus this year? Are there any possibilities to apply? Is there a call or whatever?
Mm-hmm. We don't have, migrant, the migrant bird, the migrant, no, the story that we displayed it in the format that Anais proposed, which was, I think, on a tablet. So we just did it in the way that she proposed. And I think we also did, we showed some videos, but I would say, there is not so many of them. The ones that we collaborated with, they were shown in the format that the artist proposed, and I think that's the correct way to do it. The other question is, we don't normally have an open call. We have, as I said, some thematic exhibitions where we invite experts to make a selection, either on countries or on themes. We do get emails from time to time of people who want to show us something. And the way we can integrate this is on the last day of the festival, on the Sunday, we have an open photo book market where people can come and for free get a stand and show their books. So that's what Reflektor did. That's what other people did. So basically, if somebody writes us in a very informal way, either through Facebook or through the website or directly to me, I'm easy to find, then if we like what they're doing, we just say, come around. We help them with accommodation and other technical issues. But then it's just, hop in the car or the train and come and show it to us. Or what we've also done, send it to us and we'll put it on a table. But of course, that's it's easy for books to drown in, if there's nobody there to really, present the book and so on. Of course, it's not so easy to stand out. So if somebody wants to participate, maybe, you can also pool that, for example, that you organize or you send somebody as a representative like Reflektor, does this with their table. I think that's a great way to participate in our event or in other events of this kind.
Thank you very much, Moritz. I think we're really running out of time. I'm afraid. Oh, hello, some more audience members joining us all the way from Finland. Maybe, I think, Moritz, if you could stop sharing your screen. No. Yeah, it's on from 1st to 4th of October.
Hold on. Here.
Great, great. No, thank you so much. And I'm sure the brochure of how to extend the markets is also interesting for everybody who's watching here today. I think, yeah, we might need to send a link to your homepage from the Aarhus Festival, or maybe even you could send us some of the brochures and we can also distribute them through Reflektor. Would be great. There's not much time really for question and answers. Is there anybody who has a very urgent desire? They may speak up now. I mean, we did get, I don't know how much the watching audience saw it. We did get a lot of positive comments on the chat, which was really nice. People enjoying the works. And I think anybody else has to say something? I think we're gonna wrap it up for this time.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for joining us as an audience, as a speaker. I would also recommend a personal recommendation. Moritz is also the captain on the curatorship. It's a very interesting and helpful source if you're looking for calls or some information. If you're bored at home, I can invite you to a project from our Reflektor members, Alessandra and Rachele. They started on Instagram, viral window project, where people are invited to share their impressions outside of their home, and we have pretty much time to spend at home. So you can find it in the chat, the viral window project. Maybe you want to join them there. And for me, that's all for today. And thank you very much also, Vreni, for setting this up and facing all the the technical challenges.
Yes.
And
yes.
Thank you.
I also want to say thank you so much. This was really, 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 really interesting to hear the work of Eugenia and the work of Moritz. It's super, super interesting.
When is the next one?
Let's hope the next one. Actually, I would really hope to have a live breakfast again. But, let's see what the future brings. But anyway, I think we could.
This was luck for me because I was able to join now.
Yes, and I think maybe even in like better times, we could have this kind of conversation in the future. So to make it possible for people who are not around to share their ideas and their projects. And I really enjoyed it, and thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you all for participating. Rainer said it was also wonderful to see you all. Thank you, everybody. It was a great experience. And another was, Moritz, when will you become a Reflektor member? It would be great to have you on board. All right. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of the Saturday. Go back to your families and stay safe, I guess I have to say. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great experience.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
The cable.
Okay. Well,
no, my cable.
Oh,
There's a cable in the background. By the way, thank you so much for doing this. Oh, why? Okay, this is not good. The webinar is now broadcasting to all attendees. Let's see if we have any others.
Do we?
So far, no. That's a good one. But that's actually great because, oh yes, they're coming. Oh yeah, we have so far. Yes, they're coming actually, and a lot of people I don't know. Oh yeah, cool, very cool. Oh yes,